Hey, what's up guys, I'm back with a brand new speed test. It's time to check out the performance of the A53 5G against the Samsung Galaxy A52s 5G, and the A53 5G has a Samsung Exynos 1280 SoC with 8GB of RAM, while the A52s 5G has a Snapdragon 778G chipset with 8GB of RAM as well. Both phones has a quad cameras on the back, and you can see both phones has a 64 megapixel main camera with OIS. Also we have 12 megapixel ultra wide with a 5 megapixel macro and a 5 megapixel which is a depth sensor. And the back on both phones is made up of plastic, no glass on the A53 5G. Also the frame on both phones is also made up of plastic, and the frame of the A53 5G is little more flat, which gives a more premium feel over the A52s 5G. Both phones also has a IP67 water and dust resistance. On the bottom we have headphone jack on the A52s 5G, which is not really available on the new A53 5G. That's really big difference. Also we have dual speakers on both phones, so I am really excited to see that how is the Exynos 1280 inside the A53 5G is stack up against the Snapdragon 778G inside the A52s 5G. So without any wasting time, let's get right into it. Now let's quickly boot both of these phones up at the same time. Here we go. Logos came up first on the A53 5G. Both phones is running on Android 12 with Samsung One UI version 4.1. And looks like the A53 5G is faster. And let's see who is faster. And the A52s 5G is more faster when it comes to booting up, but you can see in the start A53 5G is, it seems like more faster, but at the end A52s 5G faster when it comes to booting up. And both phones has a 6.5-inch Full HD Plus Super AMOLED display with 120Hz refresh rate, and both phones also has a punch hole on the center which looks really small. Also we have Corning Gorilla Glass version 5 on both phones, so in terms of the display wise, both phones has a very similar display, which is a really good thing. Everything's closed up in the background, no application is running in the background. Also we have same Wi-Fi network, phone dialer, very similar. So next on the list is the settings. A52s 5G is a tiny bit more faster in the settings as well as in the phone dialer. Let's go to the display, and you can see both phones has a 120Hz refresh rate, which is a really good thing. So now let's open Spotify with same Wi-Fi network, and A52s 5G faster there. Now let's opening up Amazon Shopping with same Wi-Fi network, and A53 5G is a little more faster. Let's see the scrolling, and that is feels really smooth on both phones. So now let's open this, and that is tiny bit more faster on the A53 5G. So now let's open something, and that is also very similar. So now check out some games application. Opening up the Candy Crush Saga, Snapdragon 778G versus Exynos 1280, very similar on both phones. Also we have dual speakers on both phones. Let me show you. Here is the A52s 5G looks like. And here is the A53 5G looks like. And the speaker, it is more louder on the A53 5G, so in that area A53 5G is more better phone. Instagram similar. Let's see pin out, very similar. Let's see Snapchat, similar. Let's see Subwoofer. And the Snapdragon 778G is technically more powerful as compared to the Exynos 1280, and you can see which we can see in the Subwoofer. Now let's see temper and 2. In games we can see the difference between the Snapdragon 778G versus the Exynos 1280. In the temper and 2 on the A53 5G, I am facing this downloading thing again and again, but you can see we have a 1 or 2 second difference in that game. So now let's opening up the PUBG Mobile heavy game and let's see who is faster in that game. We have a Snapdragon 778G versus Exynos 1280. A52s 5G faster there, and you can see we have a 2 or 3 second difference. Also we have smooth graphics with extreme frame rate versus the smooth graphics with high frame rate, and the Exynos 1280 it is not really optimized as of now. Also in terms of the UI, and the UI it feels more stable on the A52s 5G. Now let's opening up the tutor. That is similar, faster on the A52s 5G. Now let's open Zedge, and Zedge is very similar, and you can see. So now let's see the scrolling. Really smooth on both phones. 120Hz is working absolutely fine. So last I'm launching the cameras on both phones, default camera application. Now let's opening up the camera. Little more faster on the A52s 5G, and the cam performance it is more better on the A52s 5G. So now let's look at the front camera. Both phones has a 32 megapixel selfie camera, but I like the front camera of the A53 5G, which give you a more contrasty result, which I like a lot. Now check out internet browsing speed. I am using default Samsung internet browser on both phones. So now let's open this Galaxy shop, and A53 5G or the A52s 5G. Let's see who's faster. A53 5G faster there, but very small difference there. Scrolling it feels really smooth on both phones, no jitters, anything like that on both phones. So now let's open this buy now. That is faster on the A52s 5G. Again scrolling it feels really smooth. Next on the list is the wikipedia.org, and A52s 5G faster there, as you can see. So now let's see scrolling. In the start I see little hiccups on both phones, but now it is really smooth. So now let's open this English. Faster on the Samsung on the right one. Scrolling it feels really smooth. So now check out RAM management. Both phones has a 8GB of RAM. Let's see who is perform good in the RAM management. We have a lot of application in the background. Phone dialer, no refresh. Settings, Amazon shopping, refresh on the A52s. Let's see Candy Crush Saga, refresh on the A52s 5G. I don't know why. Instagram, refresh. Let's see pin out also refresh. Snapchat, refresh. Spotify, Subway Surfer, that is not refresh. Let's see Temper 2. Let's see PUBG Mobile. PUBG is got refresh on the A52s 5G, and the RAM management with the July update on the A52s 5G it is really bad. Now let's opening up the tutor, no refresh. If you watch my previous speed test with the A52s 5G, this phone is performing incredible. Zedge, refresh on the A52s 5G. Last we're back to the internet browser. That is not refresh. That's really good thing. And guys, what I have to say regarding the apps opening speed, as you can see that both phones is performing very similar in system-based application, but I would say that in the game app loading time, A52s 5G is a tiny bit more faster. Also UI it is more stable on the A52s 5G, and the Exynos 1280 it is not really optimized on this phone in terms of the RAM management wise, and in that area A53 5G is performing really good in the RAM management. Not a single refresh on this phone, while on the A52s 5G we have a lot of refresh. Also now let's talk about the battery size. On the A52s 5G we have 4500 mAh battery size with a 15 watt fast charger in the box, but this phone also support 25 watt. With the A53 5G we have a 5000 mAh battery size with a 25 watt fast charging support, but with the A53 5G we does not get any charger in the box. That's really disappointing, and I would say and the true successor of the A52s 5G is not the A53 5G. In the coming months we should see a A53s 5G. And that's about it, and thank you so much for watching this speed test comparison between the Samsung Galaxy A53 5G versus the A52s 5G. Let me know your thoughts regarding these two devices in the comment section below, and subscribe to my channel for daily tech videos, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter as well. And I will see you in my next video. Peace out.